Well, hello there, good friends. Another episode of First Impressions is afoot. And since a cousin of mine once drove one, I wanted to take a look at Miasmata today. Yeah, all horrible puns aside, this game has generated some considerable buzz on Steam Greenlight. It was one of the first titles to be greenlit and finished to see the day of light. It is described as a sort of survival horror game, first person sandboxy type of thingy. And let's actually get right to it. Okay, this is an old save that I'm gonna delete, and I'm just gonna start from scratch here. Well, it actually does like combine elements of other games, or like will remind you maybe of other games that you may or may not have played. This is the intro, very quick, just the backstory, which is basically you waking up on a mysterious island, which is called Eden, without spoiling too much here. And you're actually looking for a cure because you are sick. There's like a plague going on in a country that is yeah, it's like the world basically. All those places are fictional; they don't really exist. The year is 1911 or 12. It's like shortly before the outbreak of World War One. I'm not sure if that will play a role later on in the story of the game. So far, it has not. Um, yeah, and it is actually it's like it contains elements. I don't know. For those of you who have played Return to Mysterious Island, this also was sort of like a survival game. And this actually is a survival horror game, but in more than one sense. I'm going to talk about this, during this video. Um, and this it's like Return to the Mysterious or to Mysterious Island is the exact title. Actually, well, this is us just waking up on the shores. This is our boat, which is broken. And yeah, this is Eden. You're welcome. So you control with WASD and look around with the mouse. Let's just walk around the beach for a little. While can you pick this up? I never tried that actually. Explain something more about the game. So, Return to Mysterious Island, yeah, was a game that combined sort of like the survival aspect with an, adventure sort of game mechanic. It was interesting. I just played the demo, so I don't know if it really lived up to the to this premise, but you can basically pick up rocks and then coconuts and combine them, and then you'd have like a coconut radio, some stuff like that. It's like you can make a spear using, I don't know, a tree. It's like a, I don't know, used tree with flintstone, and then you had a spear, and then you can hunt for fish. You get the idea. So yeah, this like it has a lot of this flair actually. Also reminds me of Amnesia, basically because there's like a similar gameplay mechanic in here, which I'm going to talk about later, which is going to be the creature that inhabits this island. I'm for now going to ignore the tutorial here. Um, so yeah, and it also contains like elements. It reminds me at least of Pathologic. For those of you who've played it, it is a great game. It is a great experience. I wouldn't necessarily call it a great game, because it's like the gameplay is kind of clunky. But it's also about a mysterious disease that you have to find a cure for, and so on and so forth. But I think this is about the only similarity, except that I'm not going to say that Pathologic was an indie title. But it definitely was not like a AAA title, and neither is Miasmata. Right, so one thing I have to say about the controls, like the first thing I want to say is like this game is pretty graphic intense. Like it demands a lot from your machine, and I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not sure why, because I have a pretty good idea why. Because it has a huge amount of detail, like all those things here, all those rocks, the insects, the trees, they are, in this game, and for some reasons, and I'm going to talk about those reasons, in a little while, It's also not possible to simply disable them or disable the range of vision because you need to be able to look pretty far in this game, you know, lest you get lost on this island. Um, and also, as you can see, there's like an immense amount of detail here. It's like all those animals, like the insects, the like birds and whatnot, the plants. And this actually all plays a role. Okay, let's advance further here and pick up this bloodied note. Um, right. So the journal provides you. Yeah, this is cool. This is our journal. We just found a memo, and this is basically the cure that we have to find for you know, aforementioned plague. So the cure consists of 3 agents, and each of those agents consists of various ingredients. So that is actually quite a handful. You know. But as you can see here, there's more than meets the eye to the mystery of this island. Because also I think all of the members of the original expedition have been murdered in one or another fashion. And, you know, not so... this is actually a pretty recent murder. So let's pick up the knife here, because we're also going to need some sort of weapons to fend off enemies. Or the enemy, which is the cat. Right. So one huge portion is actually, you know, finding plants, like exploring the island, examining its fauna, and then manufacturing the cure and other, you know, medicinal remedies. The lab I'm gonna... Yeah, let's talk about the lab real quick. Well, let's talk about the journal, because it was mentioned before. This is our health, which is currently okay, which is good. It can change to, yeah, worse states, obviously. Then we have our abilities, all of which are low, which is actually the normal setting. And I think this is due to the fact that we actually are infected with this mysterious disease, or plague. We have the ability, or we have the possibility of getting our abilities up to normal, which is the highest ranking, or the highest state our abilities can be in, by concocting several tonics or potions and whatnot, and, you know, heightening our things. They can also get worse, obviously, if we get sick or if we sustain injuries. And then those can become poor, I think, and that, you know, won't allow us to, I don't know, do certain things like run for an extended period of time and stuff like that. So those things will come around. Those huts, the research huts, there are a couple of them across this island. They usually consist of basically 3 things. The storage bin is a place where we can store our specimen. Basically collect them, put them in here, and whenever there's another storage bin in another hut on this island, you can simply access them. They're going to appear there as well without you having ever been there. Then you have a microscope where you can examine your plants, and then a synthesis station where you can produce medicine. Lamps let you save your progress. So basically, whenever you come across something that lets you make fire, like a lamp, a candle, a campfire, an urn, you know, what have you, you can light it up and then save your progress. Let's actually collect some plants, because there's some right around the corner here. And you simply do this by going near them and clicking the left mouse button. Okay, whenever you discovered a plant hitherto unknown to you, you know, you get like an entry like this, meaning that you will always know when you're already picked a certain type of plant up. You can carry 3 samples at a time in your left hand and 1 weapon or another item in your right hand. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's examine this plant by simply clicking on this microscope, and then we get this little animation. So this is actually a huge portion of the game. You know, it's like roaming the island, discovering certain plants, Not all of them are actually useful. Like there's some that virtually do nothing. Although I'm not really sure about that because you'll also find notes that indicate that basically some plants are also good for other stuff that is yet to be discovered. Okay, so with this flower you can synthesize a basic medicine, which is cool because you will need that to maintain your health. Okay, let's put this on the tray and let's get cooking. Right. The good thing is all of those cutscenes you can actually skip. I'm just gonna play this so you guys have an idea of what it actually looks like. What it actually looks like to make medicine in the jungle. Um, so yeah, we're actually making a fever cure, basic medicine. Okay, let's quickly pick this up. Reduces fever for a short duration. Okay, every now and then we can, or a fever can break out. You're being watched. This is cool. And that will manifest here in the health section. So whenever that happens, we can basically take a medicine and, yeah, health poor because we just turned thirsty, and we can remedy that by simply drinking water. So in most of those huts, you'll find these pitchers. And furthermore, you have a canteen right there, which you can take along. And the same thing happens actually. So when you go thirsty for an extended period of time, you also get sick, basically. And your canteen, has 5 portions of potable water. So that's okay. Yeah. So basically, whenever usually I'm come across like a thirst or hunger option or a feature in the games, like most notably or most notoriously I should say, those are RPGs. It's sort of like I'm not super duper excited, basically because this means just like added resource management, that is sort of unnecessary. But here, this is actually pretty well done. You can also drink, like quench our thirst by drinking directly from like freshwater sources such as those lakes, and this will also refill our bottle, although there's no animation for that. And I happen to know that there's another plant up here that we can also pick up, so let's do that. Okay, purple white prairie flower. Okay, the lupinus genus. Cool. So yeah, let's head back and analyze this thing. Yeah, so exploring and analyzing the local fauna is one of the major portions of this game. Okay, let's get back in here and let's just real quick put down, okay, the other one, and then examine this. Put it under the microscope. Okay, let's just skip this. And what do we got? Okay, if I combine this with a basic medicine plant. Okay, so this lets us make extra strength medicine. Cool. So basically, pick this up, get this plant. This is why I took this along in the first place, because I already knew what this is good for. And then let's head over there. And synthesize the shit out of those plants. Beaker this up. Okay, let's just skip this, and this is our super medicine here, which is actually good for 2 reasons. Number one, it actually suppresses the fever for longer than the basic medicine, and second of all, as you can see here, you can always or only take 1 portion of each tonic or medicine. So this will allow us to actually carry 2 remedies for a fever. And basically how fever works is, let's just save here real quick. So basically how fever works is, that it sort of acts like a hit point system. I mean, whenever you like take damage, like either by the creature or fall damage, or you know, you can also take damage while swimming for too long. You develop a fever, and this can be cured by, you know, taking said pills. So I think that's actually a cool thing. You know, it's better than just having like a hit point system and then, you know, having you run around with a broken leg or a broken arm, you know, which would be impossible, or like severe bruises that, yeah, it's like gameplay-wise, it doesn't make much of a difference. Like if you would produce like a hit point regenerating a pill or like a fever suppressing pill. Um, yeah, so it works because this game, I think, yeah, it's just like it has a huge emphasis on realism, and this is also demonstrated by moving around. I haven't mentioned this so far, but maybe this would be a good time to do so. So basically, whenever you move around this island, you have a huge momentum. Like movement is pretty realistically depicted here. For example, let me climb up here, like so, and then when I run down here, and I'm not touching anything right now, you just keep running until, you know, uh, you're not forced to do so anymore. Let's put it that way. This makes navigating around the island a challenge. I'm not gonna say like a pain in the butt because it is actually cool. Like you can get used to it. Let's put it that way. The thing is just that at times this really gets annoying because you know, specifically when you know, maneuvering about like ledges like those here, for example, like rocky terrain. More often than not, you fall down, and this is bad for three reasons. Number one, you sustain damage. Like fever will break out, you have to take medicine. Number two, you may lose all your stuff that you're carrying, like your weapon and your samples. Technically, you can find them again because nothing in this game is ever really lost. I'm not really sure if you like throw shit into deep water because, like I said, you can't really swim for too long. So you won't be able to regain those possessions that, you know, are in. It's like if you choose to, let's just pick a rock up here real quick, and then just like throw it somewhere. This is actually done by holding down the left mouse button. Right. So the shit's in the water. I'm not really sure if he's like, yeah, you know what I mean. Let's get our knife back here. Murder weapon. Right, and then thirdly, like when you fall down a ledge, you have, most of the times you don't know where you are, like where you end up, because it's highly confusing. And navigating through the island is actually the second major gameplay aspect of this whole game. But let's explore a little more. First of all, let me save here real quick. Okay, and I had to actually well, I'm redoing all the part, or the part that comes after my save because, you know, some stuff happened with my recording software, so I have to do it again. In any case, let's continue with how the just like the getting your bearings sort of thing works. Oh yeah, one thing I should mention, you can actually rest in beds, which will also save your game and advance the time. It is also necessary to do this because you will get tired, and you know, giving like your condition with the plague and whatnot, this will also cause fever to break out. So if you stay up for too long, if you like roam the forest at night, which is generally speaking a very bad idea, you definitely will get sick, and then, you know, accordingly have to take your fever pills in order to not die. All right, let's just get something to drink real quick, and we can luckily skip this. Okay, cartography table. Let's just save here real quick because you never know, and then let's pick up the tutorial for photography. So basically, the way to do this is as follows. Because you're on an unknown island, and you know this game actually, this whole survival thing that is in the game reaches like a whole new dimension here. I mean, you know, as you may know from other games, you have a map. By pressing M, you can access this map. Um, and when you are inside an outpost, you can automatically, you know, establish your whereabouts here. So basically, this is us in the center of this thing, with us facing this direction. This is not always that easy. So if you like wander off in a uncharted part of the map, you know, you do not automatically know where you are. And basically this portion of the map is just revealed to us because we picked up this piece of information, you know, in form of this note early on, just like a second ago, in the hut. Uh, So basically what you have to do is triangulate your position. This works as follows. If you see a landmark such as this hut that is familiar or known to you, you can click on it and you will draw like a straight line towards it. And then you have to get visual on another landmark that you already know, such as this head. And again, click on it, so you know, by getting like the bearings of those two things, you can triangulate your position. Now there are certain landmarks like the stone head back here that are yet unknown to us, because you know, they are basically on the map that we picked up, so we know where exactly, you know, in relation to our position they are, but you know, when it comes to this stone head, we don't. So whenever there's a plus on this rectangle here, we can click on it and we will draw a straight line towards you know, that object, so we have the direction, you know, of where we are now and where the object is. And in order to triangulate this thing here, you know, this is like usually what you see if you don't know where things are. It's just a red question mark. You have to go someplace else, again triangulate your position, and then, you know, establish a clear line of sight towards this landmark in order to determine its position. It sounds more complicated than it actually is. It is actually kind of fun. Like, it sounds like it would be a chore or anything, but you know, this is actually a huge portion of the game. This is like the second large aspect of the mechanics that this game has to offer, really. So let's move over here, and maybe we are able to further, you know, shed some light on what that actually means. So if we climb this mountainous rock here, I'm not really sure. We just have to be careful not to fall down here, because this happens actually faster than you think. Yeah, and more often than not, you're like, there's like trees in your way, and you know, it's like obstructing your view. So it's not that easy to actually find a good point for triangulation, really. But I'm sure that we can do this by, I don't know, going over here maybe. Okay, there is this stone head, and this should already be on our map. Grab rocks and fallen sticks. I'm gonna do this later. Plus, I already have a knife. Okay, so let's whip out our map here and get our bearings on. There should be like a pagoda or something down here. Yep. Come on. Come on, come on. Okay, we got it. Okay, this is... It doesn't really matter if those landmarks are really close to each other, like here. Okay, so this is our position now, and as you can see, like, we only know where we are once we have successfully triangulated our position. And then also, like, this radius is, you know, being revealed to us on the map. So once we've done this... Wait, there is... Okay, we can make up this this head, and then there's this Rapa Nui head over here. Okay, perfect. And that's it. So let's go to another vantage point from which we can actually, you know, like another Okay, this head over there. Okay, we have been over there. Maybe this is enough. Let's try this. At least for the head that's in the lake. Okay, here's the. I think it doesn't really matter which landmarks you use. So it's just important that you have a different position. If your two vantage points are too close to each other, you also cannot successfully triangulate the landmarks. So yeah, this is too close to the other position, so we cannot use this. I am not really. Yeah, now this statue here is gone, and this is what happens actually more often than not. You know that thing. Wait, there was something over here. It's impossible to find now. Maybe just like skim over it real quick. I don't think so. Okay. Uh. Okay. So there's one head. Okay. And then let's actually climb on top of the this rock there to see if that will give us some sort of assistance in, you know, where we are right now. There must be something over here. I probably know what it is. Yeah, because I've played through this already, so I've been here, so I sort of can like guesstimate what I think the other landmark is. I think it's a tent. Okay, let's climb up here, and then okie doke. There should be like this hut somewhere. Oh, there you go. And there's also another. Okay, we can see this one. There's the other one, and there's actually more. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Yeah, we are currently here. Thanks for letting us know. Okay, this is currently unknown, so let's establish a line of sight here. Then we have this big guy right next to us. Okay, it means that we're here. Perfect. Now, let's try to establish a line of sight here. Okay, that guy's back there. Okay, this should be possible now. Perfect. Right, so this disappears now, and we have the exact location of the head over there. So from now on, we can use this as a landmark, which is extremely useful, especially if you like exposed sort of figures, landmarks, you know, because you can see them pretty much, and the same should be true for, yeah, this guy also. Perfect. I'm thirsty. Okay, let's drink in a little bit, because I'm in the middle of something. Shouldn't do this, actually. Oh, okay. This one also was revealed to us now. Okay, and this one too. Perfect. So we have 4 new landmarks. That's impressive. I'm impressed by myself. Okay. Let's drink real quick. Actually. Okay, and then let's proceed. I think there's a hut somewhere here. I think there, right? Let's go over there. Okay, so this is what happens when you fall. Yeah, I kind of like did this on purpose just to show off this mechanic, but you know, so first of all, we lost all our shit. Like, our knife is gone. Uh, like I said, technically it is somewhere here. Maybe we can find it again. Oh, fuck. Don't fall, dude. I think that's it. First of all, let's take some medicine here, because we clearly are in poor health and need to remedy this. Okay. Yeah, this is the hut I was talking about. I'm not sure if we can find the knife really, but also I think it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just gonna go over there and save real quick because I actually want to show off the third mechanic here, which is the animal, or like it's like the mechanic is like a wrong choice of for a term here. Yeah, picking up twigs allows us to like make a makeshift torch because we are equipped. We have like a lighter, so that's okay. And then let's just go in here and save our game. First of all, pick up the photos. Yeah, and you find like parts of the backstory, every once in a while. So that's that. And then let's save our game real quick. Okay, and what I'm actually gonna do now is, in order to like show off a little bit of the game element of this creature, I'm gonna load a different game, um, where I hope to encounter the beast. No, that's not it. Quit. Shortly, so I can show what that's all about. Um, and that's this one. Uh, yeah, so I have no clue if I will be able to do so. So maybe I'm gonna use some video editing. I'm just gonna roam the island off camera until I encounter it, depending on whether or not I'll be able to yes, encounter the animal quickly or not. Okay, and the animal is super close, I guess, because my heart... Yeah, there it is. Fucker. Okay, so yeah, what can we do? Okay, we can try to ward it off with this twig here, but that doesn't work. Our torch has no effect on it. Like, basically, you should avoid it altogether, but as soon as I heard it, like, I immediately pressed the record key. So I'm just trying to dodge it here, like using this group of trees here as cover. Yeah, get the fuck away, man. And that's it. Okay. My heart's still beating, so... Still here somewhere. If I duck down, it's gone now. Yeah, let's throw this shit away. And pick up a new torch. So yeah, that was the animal. I mean, the thing is, that was a pretty brief encounter, and the thing is, like, I really just walked down this path, and it appeared right behind me, I just heard my heart racing, and then, I already heard it roaring, and it was too late. So yeah, usually that means... Oh, dude, there's a dead buddy. But I've been here before, so this is okay. I've seen this. No worries here. Just keep moving on. Yeah, so this is like one of the things. I mean, the major beef that I have with the game is, and when it comes to this monster, is that there's basically no effective way of, like, combating it or, like, engage... Oh, let's go back to the lake and refill our water supply. Because like as you can see, like it doesn't like shy away from the torch. The same is actually true for like the weapons. You cannot really hurt it. Like I've tried. I try to hurt it with a knife, with an axe, with a stone. The only thing that you can do is like you can throw those objects and then it gets distracted for like a little while, during which you can try to hide. But it usually like finds you pretty quickly, like once it has spotted you before. So that's not really an option. Like the best thing to do here, let's just drink real quick, is basically, well, there's actually two ways of spotting or like realizing that the animal is close to you. And the first one is um, taking a awareness enhancing stimulant, which you can make from fungus. Um, the thing is, yes, like it wears off like roughly after 24 hours. So you know, that also leaves the question of how feasible it is, because you always, it's not like collecting the ingredients, because there are actually a couple from which you can synthesize this pill. Um, the thing is that you have to always get back to a lab station, and they're really few and far between. I mean, so far I've encountered 3 or 4, I think, and you know, so that means that, you know, each day you have to backtrack to one of those things and make the stuff, take it, and then venture on. The question is that really something, is that like a feasible way of playing the game? Because the game is slow as it is, you know, without this sort of like unnecessary, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but this is like um, this extra feature. The other thing is that, you know, as you could see, like, or as you could hear better, um, as your heartbeat increases, and the monster is actually the only thing that increases your heartbeat, you know, the closer the monster gets. The thing is really that usually by the time you realize what's up, it's already too late, and then you have to, in one way or another, face the thing. You can't really fight it, so you have to sort of like outsmart it. And you know, the way, or like the most successful way I found at least, is just like dancing around like an obstacle it cannot get across, and then after some time it loses interest and just walks away. You know, which also brings me directly, because this video is already pretty long, to whether or not I would recommend this game. There's two negative aspects that I actually have or should mention. Uh, and this is, I already picked up this plant, I think. The first one is that, well, let's try anyways. I already picked it up. The first one is that, you know, it is like pretty graphic hungry, meaning that, you know, it's very demanding of your PC. Um, Combine that, you know, which obviously leads to a drop in frame rate. So if you combine that with the momentum that you gain from like walking around or like jumping, sprinting, whatever, this leaves you sometimes like with very yeah, it's like disappointing results, meaning that, you know, it's like you are on top of a ledge or close to a hill, and then you try to like sneak around, and then you have like the frame rate dropping, so, you know, you sort of inch forwards, and actually you're already over the edge and just falling down. This actually happens quite a lot. I mean, like I said, it might be my machine, other people may not experience this problem, but should that be actually, you know, something that is true for a lot of people, I mean, it doesn't break the game or anything, but you know, it makes it a little bit cumbersome. Like I say, or like I said, the actual mechanic of, you know, well, can I pick this up? No, this is just high grass. The actual mechanic of like having a somewhat realistic movement here is not that bad. You get used to it. It's just a thing that, you know, in combination with this frame rate issue, you know, this may actually be somewhat frustrating. The second thing is, well, there's another thing which pertains to the you know, the interaction with the game world, specifically like left clicking a lot of stuff, because that's like your major um, means of interactions, like picking stuff up, fighting, using stuff. This is all being done with the left mouse button. Okay, if you click it very briefly, this is what you do. You like jab forward with whatever weapon you're currently carrying. If you do this for like slightly longer, and again, like frame rate can be an issue here, like you're fighting the monster, frame rate drops, and then you press the left mouse button longer, you just drop your weapon, or throw your weapon, although you may not even want to. And you know, this is sort of, it actually happened to me quite some time, let's put it that way. The second thing is, and I don't know if there's like, if I can demonstrate this here, it looks like I cannot. Okay, let's just pretend that, you know, you could pick up this sort of flower here, this weed, But there's also stones on the ground. So, if you crouch down and then you pick up stuff, you're not really sure what you're doing. If you're picking up a sample or if you're picking up a weapon or what. And, sometimes in resulting, the loss of your weapon, just like so. So if I had like a knife and there's like a lake nearby and stuff like that. Yeah, again, it doesn't break the game. It's just like an annoyance that maybe, having like different keys for like picking up samples and, using weapons, stuff like that. That would help it tremendously. But this is just a minor disturbance. The one thing I actually want to mention is the monster. Because um, there's like the two other parts of the game, namely the exploration of the map or of the island, and the collecting of the samples of its flora. Um, they're like, I think, really like juxtaposed with the element of the monster insofar as the did I already pick this up? Yeah. No. Orange Prairie Fellow. What do you know? Cool. Um, insofar as the especially like the cartography, but also like gathering samples requires you to like walk around the map freely, basically, and since the monster poses such a huge threat to you because there's no way of fighting it or dealing with it, and sometimes, and I've encountered like situations where this was true, it's a matter of luck, how soon the monster will like let up, or if there's like any place to hide for you. I mean, if there's no trees, and that happened to me too. There are parts of the games where there's like just like a hilly landscape where there's like little or almost no trees, and you cannot hide from the thing. You shit out of luck. It's just gonna tear you apart. Um, so not only does this like slow the game down, it also yeah, it's like runs counter to the other elements because they're very like slow paced, strategic, or at least tactical elements. Whereas fighting the monster is sort of something very fast paced that also requires movement skills, which is not always easy. Giving like the sort of, I'm not gonna say clunky, but at least yeah, slow or not responsive, like not what you use from other games. Let's put it that way, because there's a huge emphasis on realism in this one. That makes it sort of like hard, in a sense that it's not necessarily that easy to outmaneuver the monster, really. So what I want to say is that the monster really poses a huge like impediment to your progress, and the game is slow as it already is. I mean, this is not something for people that are looking for like instant gratification in a game, because like cards, like the whole cartography, like or a triangulation thing, like triangulating your way around the map and making a map off the island, is a very, very cumbersome process. I mean, it's fun in its own right, and it's an interesting spin on like the whole survivor thing. But then again, it's slow, and the same goes for like exploring areas, picking up flowers or mushrooms, bringing them back to the cottages, and doing experimentation with them. This is actually pretty hard. So yeah, I'm not really sure how this plays out. I mean, I have encountered the monster only, I would say, recently, like a couple of hours ago, but already I can feel how it really impedes the process I am making in this game. And this is a game, for like the long run. Maybe it's a cool game for the holidays, where you have some time that you want to spend by yourself, like with a decent video game. Then that would be really something I would recommend. The question is, does this make the game unnecessarily slow? Um, there's definitely some element of horror, like like I said in the beginning. If you like the Amnesia, if you like Amnesia, not the Amnesia series, this is definitely something for you, because it's sort of like in the same vein. The monster can basically pop up anywhere, and then you have to deal with it, and it makes actually for an interesting game element. But the fact that it happens again and again and again, and there's no effective means of basically dealing with the thing. Um, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna play out on the long-term motivation, really. Like overall, I really like this game, and I also think price-wise is absolutely okay. Um, Obviously, thanks to the gameplay mechanics here, you're gonna have hours of fun with this one. But the question really is, yeah, how does this monster play out? Like, my suggestion would have been maybe do like a difficulty setting, have like an easy difficulty maybe without the thing altogether, or at least, just like a scripted monster that appears in certain locations that you can also prepare for. Because, let's face it, your resource management is also largely dependent on the attacks. Like if the thing does damage to you, you need your fever pills, then you need to go resource hunting, which again leads you to encountering the monster, and so on and so forth. So this is like a circle that continues like a spirals downwards, really. So yeah, maybe like a difficulty setting would have alleviated this somewhat. And then like a normal difficulty is you can just play the game as it is, maybe, stuff like that. I mean, I have to say I like the game. It is cool. I'm actually thinking about like doing a let's play or something because you never know where this might lead you. And if actually the monster is that much of an impediment to the progress in the game that you're making or not. I think it may be because seeing that, oh, I'm thirsty, that I have not really discovered like too much of the island, because I know for a fact that okay, that there's still like a large portion, come on, over here, like that still needs to be discovered. I'm not really sure like how fast or how effective I can do this with a monster, breathing down my neck. Um, yeah, so okay. Also, the controls are sometimes unresponsive a little bit. Maybe that's also due to the graphical problems. I am hesitant to say, but maybe that is actually the right term that I'm experiencing here. Which in itself would be fine, but if you have to like hectically maneuver around this thing, the monster, the animal, whatever. Yeah, this could have been done like in a more elegant fashion. Let's put it that way. Nevertheless, this sounds like I'm like so it's like down talking the game. I'm not. I genuinely like this game. This is a cool thing. Uh, if you're into this, if you're into the immersion, which is clearly here, like no game world or like seldom has a game world being so immersive. Simply due to the fact that you're actually required to interact with the flora of the game. You have to triangulate your position. This is puts a whole new spin on exploring in a game like this. So that I like, and I think this outweighs the possible impediment that the monster poses. So this is a thumbs up for me. Really cool game. In that regard, just make sure, like, if you're not a huge fan of like Amnesia or stuff like that, I'm not really sure if that game is for you. Because I mean, the horror element is there. It has its jump scare moments, like the monster appearing, in your back or behind your back, out of thin air. Um, but other than that, I mean, like once this has worn off, so to speak, it is just. I think it may be like very cumbersome to like navigate the island and constantly having to dodge this enemy. Well, in any case, I hope you're able to make an informed decision, gentlemen and ladies. And moreover, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, yeah, please go nuts. In the comments section. Hasn't happened really in the past, but what the fuck? I like doing this, so I don't care. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon next time. Thank you, and bye bye.